Welcome to the Inject Creativity Live Show. My name is Rob the Robot from the Adobe Education team. This is a free online show for primary, secondary and post-secondary educators interested in enhancing digital literacy, communication and creativity in the teaching and learning process. Here are your hosts, Dr. Tim Kitchen and Erin Raethke.
Thanks, Rob. Welcome to this special pre-Apac Summit episode of Inject Creativity Live, a show based on creativity for all in all education with a focus on Adobe tools and resources. Welcome, Erin.
Hi, Tim, and a special welcome to everyone who's joined us live and those watching on demand via the Adobe for Education YouTube channel or the Australasian Adobe for Education Facebook group for this, the 79th episode of Inject Creativity Live, which will be focused on the coming APAC Adobe Education Summit. So we're recording this episode in September of 2022.
For those of you who are with us live, we do encourage you to say hi in the chat, share where you're from, and add some comments throughout the show.
We have the wonderful Tim Cosgrove from Canada in the background monitoring the chat, and he will share the most relevant comments as they come in live.
Let's start this episode with an acknowledgement of country. We respect and honour all Indigenous people from the lands we reach out to during this event. We acknowledge their stories, traditions and living cultures. We acknowledge them as the first educators and the first creatives, and we commit to building a brighter future together. I'm coming to you from Wurundjeri land in the Kulin Nation, otherwise known as Melbourne, Victoria, Australia.
And I'm coming to you from the country of the Jagera, Yugara and Agurapul people from around the area, otherwise known as Brisbane, Queensland, Australia.
Let's welcome our techie whiz, Adobe Senior Customer Success Manager, Jerry Wong, to the stage. Hi, Jerry.
Hi, everyone. I'm coming to you from the home of the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation, otherwise known as Sydney, New South Wales. During this episode, we will be hearing from Adobe Education leader, Mark Christie.
Yay! We'll be promoting the APAC Adobe Education Summit, which will be happening on Wednesday, the 28th of September.
To help promote the summit, we'll be going through some of the expected highlights and some of the workshop opportunities.
We'll also be sharing a number of Adobe-related education resources and professional learning opportunities for you to take back to your schools, universities, and other places of learning.
We do hope you enjoy this episode.
And if you do, please share it with your colleagues and wider education networks via the Adobe for Education YouTube channel.
You're watching Inject Creativity Live with Tim Kitchen and Erin Raethke.
Well, let's meet our special guest for this episode and welcome back to the show, Adobe Education leader, Mark Christie. There he is.
Hi, Mark.
Hi, Tim. Hi, Erin. How are you?
Mark, it is great to have you back to the show. So for those who haven't met you before, please tell us a bit about your role with the Northern Territory Department of Education.
So I'm the Director of Digital Initiatives, and really that's all about getting the most out of digital solutions in over 150 schools across the Northern Territory. And a large part of that involves Adobe. And as a matter of fact, tomorrow I'm going to be out at Raethke Primary School, and Raethke is the country that I'm on, which is Darwin.
Nice. Hey, we're looking forward to seeing you live at the Adobe Sydney office as one of our summit presenters. What are you looking forward to most about the coming summit?
People in person. I'm really looking forward. You can only do so much online, and I'm really looking forward to catching up with people in person. I saw the videos, or there's more videos coming, and that's going to be the key thing.
Now, Mark, before Erin asks you the next question, I need to sort of clarify that the summit is face-to-face for the presenters. So a lot of the Adobe education leaders from Australia will be getting together in Sydney. We're all staying in Darling Harbour and we'll be based at the Adobe office in Darling Harbour in Sydney. But most of the people at the summit will be online. So it's a bit of a hybrid event, but Mark's, and I agree with Mark, I'm so looking forward to catching up with those Adobe education leaders who I haven't seen for at least 2 or 3 years. It's going to be great.
It's the energy. That's the thing. That energy is going to come through the screen, and no matter where you are, you're going to enjoy it.
Fantastic. And just a bit, Director of Technical Initiatives, was it? That is such a cool job description.
No, digital initiatives.
Digital initiatives. I knew I had it wrong. That's why I wanted to check, because that is a very, very cool. It's such a descriptive job description. So what will you be sharing with us, Director of Digital Initiatives, this episode?
This episode, we'll be having a look at how you can use Premiere to edit videos on slow computers, because in schools, we've got lots of slow computers. And here's a way that we can actually make it work.
So true. So true.
Thanks, Mark. We are looking forward to hearing from you very soon.
We hope you're enjoying this episode of Inject Creativity Live with Tim Kitchen and Erin Raethke.
Well, as we just mentioned, the 2022 Apac Adobe Education Summit is happening on Wednesday, the 28th of September. And if you haven't done so already, it looks like I'm keeping reading here, Erin, I apologise. Please do register via adobe.ly/apac-edu-summit22. We have already had over 2,000 views, in fact, 2,500 views of the Summit site already.
And I'm going to say this slowly to give you time to queue up the beautiful video of this great event where we can meet some of the presenters.
I'm going to be at the Apac 2022 Adobe Summit. I am looking forward to sharing some of the work that I'm doing, learning some of the things that you are doing.
Clara here from the Adobe Education team. I lead our global education community programs, and I'm excited to see you at the Apac Adobe Education Summit.
Just to get some new ideas. It's great to see the keynote speaker, and I particularly love picking up tips from my peers as well. So always time well spent attending the summit.
Hi, Ben Forter here, and I'm looking forward to seeing you at the Apac Adobe Education Summit.
It's a great opportunity to work with and learn from an array of colleagues who I admire and respect.
I'm looking forward to meeting like-minded people, doing digital technology skills and increasing those, and also networking with others.
It's a chance to connect with like-minded creative educators and share our experiences.
Because I believe it's a fantastic opportunity to connect with my colleagues and find out what amazing things they're doing with Adobe tools in their classrooms.
It's a great way to meet new colleagues and reconnect with old colleagues.
It's fun, friendly, and free.
It is the best way to learn everything I need to know about the latest Adobe updates, and it's also a really good chance to see best practice.
It's an awesome event filled with educators who wants to empower everyone with the use of Adobe tools and technologies.
It must be spring in Sydney, and we all know that's where folks will be physically and virtually, learning and sharing in all things creatively Adobe.
I want to be inspired by some of the best Adobe education leaders in the world with their amazing ideas that I can bring back to the classroom. I know that this will enhance my own creativity in lessons, and I know that this will also achieve better student learning and outcomes.
After 2 years of COVID and remote learning, Zoom calls, Teams meetings online, I think it's going to be amazing to get back in the same space with my fellow educators.
It provides me with opportunities to meet with educators that are creative and passionate about providing opportunities for students to succeed in their learning using a variety of the Adobe digital tools.
It's a great opportunity to share ideas, learn from friends, develop skills.
It's such a great way to learn new things and to collaborate with other people who are working in your space as creative educators.
It's a great way of networking with teachers from all over the world and learning more about Adobe tools in the classroom.
Hi everyone, my name's Dr. Tim Paxton, and I'm really looking forward to seeing you at the Apac Adobe Education Summit.
Well, I'm inspired. I'm looking forward to it. Let's just jump straight to the live site. And we've had a look at that link many times. You can see it on the screen as well. So I won't need to repeat it. You can always rewind if you want to see it again. It outlines the date for the main summit. Of course, we're running a pre-summit for our Adobe education leaders and Adobe creative educators the day before the summit. And those of you who are AELs and ACEs, you would have already got lots of information about that before. If you're unsure, if you want to join the pre-summit, just email me. You should have my email address by now, kitchen@adobe.com, and feel free to email me to get an invitation to the pre-summit. But for everybody else, this is what's happening. You're going to get a live link from this site on Vimeo live stream. So you can just click on that and then be part of the show live. We'll also have everything recorded as well, and it'll be archived through this site as well as some other sources. And Erin, notice that the starting time is 9 o'clock in the morning, Australian Eastern Standard Time, and just take note of where that relates to you, wherever you are in the world. And as we scroll through the couple of videos that you may have seen before, but looking at the very start of the program that day, we're going to have our global Adobe education representatives such as Tacey Trowbridge, Brian Johnsford, Ben Forder, and Clara Galan. They're going to be doing a little presentation for us, pre-recorded, but it's going to be great to hear from them. And we're going to set up a little challenge for everybody through Adobe Express. And then we're going to have a break with an hour on, half hour off. Hour on, half hour off throughout the day. Tell us about the second session for that day, Erin.
So as we're going through, if you could, because we're up to 11:30 a.m. where we've got Tim Paxton, that's what I can see on the screen. Tim, if you wouldn't mind going a little bit further down.
After the 10 a.m. break, the 10:30 session there with Drew Mayhills, you can't see that?
Wait, there we go. After 10:30, the 11 a.m. break, we've got the keynote by Dr. Tim Paxton, which we spoke to in the last episode. And on the screen, that's as far as I can see on your share, but I've got it up on mine, so that's fine. We've got a 1 p.m. break, and then at 1:30, we go into workshop sessions.
Sorry, Erin, just to interrupt, that second session starts at 10:30 with Drew Mayhills. And then Chris Betcher, and then we've got a promotion.
Yes, because sorry, we spoke to this in the previous episode, so I thought that there was something I was missing. Yes, so we've got some lovely classroom success stories at 10:30 a.m. with Drew Mayhills, and another at 11:15 with Michelle Dennis. In between, we've got Creative Catalyst Talk with Chris Betcher at 10:45, and then Creative Cloud Express resource promotion and update at 11. We've got some nice half-hour breaks in there too to give everyone plenty of time to percolate and absorb before they take in the wonderful next sessions.
Yeah, and Dr. Tim Paxton will be doing the keynote for the next session, and he is Australia's leading researcher in creativity and innovation in education. And after his session, we have our workshop opportunities. Now, if we click the link that says workshop info and registration, that'll take you to all your workshop options on a separate Express site here, and you can just.
And my apologies, Tim. That's what I thought we were going to be covering during this little summary. I thought we were jumping straight into the workshops.
No, we're doing And then when you click register here, then you can actually see the full list of all your options, and then tick whichever one it is you want to do for that session, and then whichever one you want to do for this session. Notice you can only choose one, so choose wisely and click submit, and then we'll make sure you get all the information required to join that workshop. Erin, you're running one of the workshops, aren't you?
I am running one of the workshops, and it definitely is worth mentioning. The workshops are obviously not just for, people who happen to be on site on the day. We actually are going to be delivering these digitally. So one of the important reasons that you need to register for these workshops before the 22nd of September is so that we can send out to you all of the email links to each workshop person's individual room, so that you can make sure you have all of the links nice and far in advance, so that you can join the workshops with a minimum of fuss and mucking around with technology.
It's going to be a fantastic summit, and we are really looking forward to having as many teachers as possible join us at different parts of that day.
You're watching Inject Creativity Live with Tim Kitchen and Erin Raethke.
Now, Adobe has a new resource that maps Adobe Education Exchange teaching resources to the Australian curriculum called School Project and Lesson Ideas with Adobe.
So please look up adobe.ly/AC projects to make the most of this new resource and share it with your colleagues.
And let's hear from Tacey.
Hi, I'm Tacey Trowbridge, Head of Adobe's Thought Leadership and Advocacy. Thanks for watching Inject Creativity Live. And if you're excited about creativity, take a listen to the Creative Educator podcast.
Let's welcome back our guest, Mark Christie, back to the stage. There he is to share with us. Mark, you've got a pre-recorded video. What's it about?
Well, it's all about using Premiere to actually create proxies, but it's also integrating Character Animator as well. So it's a real life example of what we might actually be doing in schools and trying to get the most out of the slow machines that we might have in our classrooms.
Oh, well, let's get started. Thanks, Erin. If you can play that, that'd be great.
Puppets, proxies, Premiere and pupils. Today I want to show you how you can work fast on slow computers. We will be using Adobe Character Animator, Adobe Premiere Pro, Audition and Adobe Media Encoder to carry out the following tasks. We'll capture a Character Animator performance. We'll export that with a transparent background. We'll import that into Premiere so you can integrate that with real footage with real people from your school as a background. We'll export for upload to YouTube, Vimeo, MS Stream or another location. And we'll complete this on a slow student or teacher computer. To explain this, I'll use a proxy or substitute in the form of a Character Animator puppet. Let me introduce you to Penny.
What is a computer? An i5 computer with 8 gig of RAM and older than 4 years. Still good enough for word processing and internet research, but not for video editing. If you have a new powerful computer, you'll still probably want to use proxies to edit 4K video or multicam video. The best part of this is that it is easy to get started. In order to achieve our tasks, we need a workflow or project plan. Here's one I prepared earlier. We need a script. We need to shoot our video with real people in a real place. We then import that into Premiere and create a proxy. We record our Character Animator performance. We export that as a transparent video to import, merge, and edit in Premiere. We add our titles and credits, and then we export. I think we need an explanation of some of the words I will be using. Ingest, transcode, codec, proxy, and scrub. Premiere and Adobe Media Encoder ingests or digests your videos, transcoding or converting them into a more digestible size, a smaller resolution, using a codec, a video display translator, a compressor-decompressor codec that is more friendly for editing playback. Premiere then uses that smaller, more digestible proxy file as a substitute for you to quickly scrub through or play back and forth your video while you edit it. When you export, the originals are used and you end up with a high quality video. So in my video, I have one actor who is human and another who is a Character Animator puppet. I've filmed the human part of the scene and that actor has to imagine they are talking to their animated character opposite them. This means leaving enough room for the puppet to be in shot. Apart from the light strobing effect, which is quite annoying, and I should have shot at 30 frames per second. I'll know that next time. My puppet was facing the wrong way, so I flipped this video horizontally in Premiere. So my video was captured in HD, that is 1920 pixels wide by 1080 pixels high. That's probably the limit of what you would bring into a slow computer. When the humans spoke, they thought they left enough gaps for my Character Animator friend Pepe to speak his bits. What is a better way or better process is to read and time each segment so that each character can nod and talk at the right time. So knowing the time that it will take for someone to actually speak each particular sentence or phrase. Once that's done, I import the video clip into Adobe Premiere Pro using the proxy ingest setting. Thank you very much, and I'll now hand back to Mark.
Although there is an ingest preset supplied with Premiere Pro, in my opinion, it is still too large for editing. We will create our own custom ingest preset using a smaller frame size. This is a 3-step process which involves creating an export preset in Adobe Media Encoder before using the settings from that export preset to then create the ingest preset. Our newly created ingest preset is then added to the options for the creation for proxy videos in Premiere Pro and can be applied in batch to your imported videos for much faster editing. It can be shared to your student computers to provide them with a one-click create proxy with this custom proxy setting. I create the export preset setting frame size to 480 by 270 pixels and set the codec to QuickTime ProRes proxy. It handles editing better than H.264. I'll also add a little label over the top of the video so I know it is a proxy video, although there are many visual cues to show me when a proxy video is being used. Make sure when you name your presets to include the word export or ingest in the name that you give to the preset, because if you create a number of presets, it may not be clear if it is an ingest or export preset. Once I have my export preset created, I then create the ingest preset in Media Encoder, using the export preset as the base setting. When creating the ingest preset, only select transcode, not copy. Otherwise, you will not be able to add this ingest preset to the create proxy option in Adobe Premiere. I also want to call out that if you create a proxy for alpha channel video, the transparent video we exported from Character Animator, the proxy version of that video will not be transparent, which means for editing and aligning the puppet character over the top of the underlying real video with the human, it doesn't work. So, for alpha video, creating proxy videos may not add value. Having created the ingest proxy preset file, we need to locate the file and add it as a custom preset to Premiere Pro. One way to find the file is to right-click on the newly created ingest preset in Media Encoder, select Show File Location and copy the file path. Then go to Premiere Pro, select a video or videos you want to create proxy substitute videos for, select Add Ingest Preset and paste in the path you just copied. You can then select the particular preset file and use that. Adobe Media Encoder will start up, transcode and create proxy files for you. Once that is done, you can close Adobe Media Encoder. In Premiere, in the timeline, you will want to toggle between the original raw video sometimes and the smaller substitute proxy file. If the toggle proxy icon is not available, simply click on the plus button in the editing window on the right-hand side and add the toggle proxy icon to your dashboard. When highlighted blue, that means a proxy file is in use and you should see much faster scrubbing. Disabling the proxy will result in stuttered scrubbing through the video on the timeline, so this is where the real value and power of video proxies comes into play. From a workflow point of view, getting the preset made, the raw videos copied off memory sticks and onto the computers and then transcoded to create proxy files before the editing process starts is something to weave in with other activities, because the copying and transcoding can take quite a bit of time. Because the computer is slow, you might want to switch to some non-computer activity like camera work, scripting, scene or story review while the files are rendering. After the proxies are created and students are familiar with the toggle button, they will see an amazing jump in productivity while editing, and this will result in higher quality video production. After editing is complete, you can either take advantage of the new Quick Export button on the top right-hand side of Premiere Pro, or use the File Export to export your video via Media Encoder to a variety of destinations. In either case, the lesser quality proxy videos are swapped out for the higher quality originals. Job done.
Wow, there was a lot in that, and Mark, are you still with us? So you seem to have disappeared there. There he is. He's back with us. Oh, I haven't quite
We've got a
finished.
lovely little making of after. Do we have time to play that, Tim, or can
30
we?
seconds.
Yep, let's go for it. Let's go
for it. Great.
Let's watch it together.
Can I help you?
I'm Mark. I'm looking for the VAMP TV crew.
Hi, Mark. I'm Pepe. You've just missed them. They have headed out to Bickerton Island for a film shoot.
Oh, that's a pity. I wanted to congratulate them on moving more than a decade's worth of great VAMP TV episodes to our new Vimeo platform.
Yes, I heard about that. It was a great job. All episodes are available on vamptv.ntschools.net. Hey, Mark, I've been trying to get an audition slot with those guys for ages. You look like a guy with connections. Can you get me in the door to audition with the VAMP TV show? I can't sing, but I can bust some cool dance moves.
I'll see what I can do. I'm from the government and I'm here to help.
Appreciate it, man. Later.
Oh,
very cute. Well done, Mark. Look, a lot of preparation put into that, and incredibly practical too, because so many schools just don't have high-end computers to be able to use the normal video files that come in. So for those teachers who are struggling with Premiere Pro because they just haven't got the computers, the grunt to be able to just import videos from their cameras directly and then work with it, then Mark's given you some great tips on how to manage Premiere Pro with those proxy files. A little bit technical, but you've got it all on video now. You can go back frame by frame and just work through the process.
And speaking of which, I did notice the vamptv.ntschools.net. Would you like me to share that link in there in the chat for you?
Please.
And is that the location where we could actually find your lovely in-depth video so we can watch, rewind, and pause? Or do you have another link that you'd like to share?
I've sent that through to you on email.
On email, wonderful. Well, I will find that and we can share it to people during the Fireside Chat, and I'll also be sure to include it in my show summary page that I create for tonight. Thank you.
And of course, you can just rewatch this episode again.
Indeed.
And that's probably the quickest way to do it. Mark, thank you so much for all the preparation that you put into that pre-recording, and that's going to be a really practical help for lots of people.
Great.
Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Tim and Erin.
Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone. I'm Tanya Abbott from the Global Education team here at Adobe for Education. I'm so excited that you are watching Inject Creativity Live. Please check us out with the Adobe Creative Educator program and be on the lookout for all the amazing challenges that we have every month. See you soon.
Thanks, Tanya. Look, well over 1 million teachers have now joined the Adobe Education Exchange to get lesson ideas and professional learning based on making the most of their Adobe applications in the classroom.
One of the most popular courses on the Adobe Education Exchange is the Creativity for All course, which, when completed, allows you to join Level 1 of the Adobe Creative Educator program.
So far, about 57,000 teachers have enrolled in the Creativity for All course.
So if you look up adobe.ly/ACE, you can do the Creativity for All course on the Adobe Education Exchange at any time on demand to get your ACE Level 1 badge.
Alternatively, Erin and I run the Be a Creative Educator course almost on a monthly basis to help guide teachers through Level 1.
Look up adobe.ly/creative educator and note that the next opportunity for this course is on October 27 and November 22, and they'll be starting at 4 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time.
Hi there, it's Claudio from the Adobe Global EDU team. Thanks for watching Inject Creativity Live. If you haven't already, join the Adobe Creative Educator program.
Adobe Max is Adobe's largest global event.
It is where Adobe announces new apps, new features within current apps, and celebrates the digital creativity to a global audience.
This year, Adobe Max is a hybrid event that will be held from October 18 to 20 in Los Angeles with about 6,000 face-to-face attendees, but online with hundreds of thousands, if not millions, all for free, joining online from all parts of the globe.
Like me, please register via max.adobe.com to stay in touch and find out more about the world's biggest and best digital creativity event and join the education stream.
You're watching Inject Creativity Live with Tim Kitchen and Erin Raethke.
If you're on Facebook and you're not already a member of the Australasian Adobe Education Community Facebook group, please join via facebook.com/groups/AUSAEL.
Join us and keep regularly involved with Adobe in education and the wider community.
We have a newsletter called the Adobe in Education Update Australasia, which now has a new look via adobe.apac.edu.com.
Complete the contact form via adobe.ly/contact-edu-apac if you don't already get a reminder about this publication each month and join the email list.
All right, Jerry, let's hear some familiar music as we bring Mark and Jerry back up to the screen to say our farewell. Our next Inject Creativity Live event, episode 80, believe it or not, will feature the amazing Chris Betcher from Google.
And episode 81 will feature the wonderful Brett Kent, from the New South Wales Department of Education.
These episodes will be recorded on Wednesday, the 12th of October at 5 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time. It'll be then after the APAC Adobe Education Summit.
So for those watching live, get ready to move to adobe.ly/edu-meet-APAC for our brief fireside chat where you can chat with our presenters from tonight.
Special thank you to Erin, Jerry and Tim Cosgrove from Canada for helping us put this show together. And before Rob signs us off, Mark, any last words of wisdom from you?
I think try out all of the applications and use whatever tips you can to get the most out of them.
Good on you, mate. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
See you shortly.
So here is Rob the Robot to sign off this episode.
Thank you for watching this episode of Inject Creativity Live. For those who are watching live, join us now via adobe.ly/edu-meet-APAC for an informal, non-recorded fireside chat to meet and interact with our presenters and other audience members. During this informal chat, you will be able to complete the feedback form and apply for a professional development certificate. If you are not watching this live, join us live next time. Use this QR code or link to find out about dates and topics. And use this QR code and link to find out about other Adobe in Education professional learning opportunities. On behalf of the Adobe in Education team, keep being creative.